the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
Just, you're like, that is just, it's just great. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just a great feeling where you're like, that is really, really cool. And obviously you feel great for Jemai. But I mean, it was a great moment for him in so many different ways, and he was paramount for Tennessee down the stretch. But I also think Gainey was great in this game, and I think that might be kind of lost is how good Jordan Gainey was as a whole, because I don't think Zakai played well. Igor did not play well. And if you told me before the game that Tennessee was going to be able to win with a subpar Zakai game and beat Alabama, I would have, and Sears having a really good game for the Tide, I would have had to raise an eyebrow at how Tennessee wins that game. But to Jemai's credit for what he did down the stretch and that all-time great shot, but also Gainey was just huge for Tennessee. And I think that's going to be kind of overlooked, that I think Gainey's minutes on Saturday were gigantic for Tennessee, because I don't think they're in that spot without Gainey.
Completely agree, and I love your point comparing it to 22 football, because it was like just get the game to overtime.
Yeah, that's
all. Tennessee was on defense, back against the wall, trying to get the game to overtime, and all of a sudden it flips of, all right, you got an opportunity here, and not a likely opportunity to score and win in either of them. But yeah, I mean, I think there probably was Jemai in very much in Jemai way was kind of, I thought, the glue for Tennessee in that game, especially in the first half when so many guys were in foul trouble, because Tennessee asked them to do a bunch of different things, both from playing to 4 and even running a little bit of point when Zakai was out. But yeah, no, I think Jordan Gainey was the best player for Tennessee as a whole. And it felt like, I tweeted about it, it felt like 3 different points in the game, and one was a singular possession where he just was a stabilizing force for Tennessee. And he scored 9 points and it didn't turn the ball over in the 10 minutes that Zakai sat with foul trouble in the first half. And, he didn't solely run point guard, but ran a lot of point guard, took care of the basketball, obviously was working very, very hard on the defensive end. Singular possession, but it felt like the game was, Alabama really grabbed control of that game, I felt like, in about the last 5 minutes of the first half. And Gainey goes coast to coast for the and one to get it back to 4 at halftime. I thought that was a huge play. And then when Tennessee finally got on the run, and I do think something that most people aren't talking about, and we were talking about it in the group chat, it's like, man, Tennessee's got to get stopped. They cannot string together stops. And from the 9:29 mark in the second half to the 3:59 mark, so a little 5.5 minutes there, Alabama scored 6 points, and that was. The defense was great to give Tennessee a chance to make a run, and Gainey did a lot of the offense. I think in that 5-minute stretch, he scored 9 points too. So 3 different parts. Really the first 2 kind of stabilizing Tennessee in the first half, and then the second half he was the go-to guy. There were other guys that scored too, but he was the go-to offensive guy when Tennessee finally got strung together some stops and went on the run where they turned an 8-point deficit into a 2-point lead with about 5 minutes left.
What did you make of Zakai's game? Do you think a lot of it just got kind of railroaded with foul trouble and just being on?
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.